Hey, I'm Alan Levine, and here's a rhizome. It's in my yard. It's an aspen tree. Of course, a winter node leaves, and they grow really fast. Not really native to this altitude, but if you water them enough, they grow pretty well. And I planted this one, I don't know, maybe 6-7 years ago. And the thing about them is that they're rhizomes. So along its base, it spread all these other aspen trees. I think that's pretty cool. I've tried a few times to transplant them. I only succeeded once with this one here. It's growing in my front yard. You have to, chop off the root, and you don't really get much root. And you have to hope it really survives. There were two here, and one got knocked over in some winter snow, but this one's been around a couple years and seems to be doing well. And one more. Here's a poplar. This guy grows really fast, and it spreads like crazy. I've got 3 about this size, but I've got all these other ones that are growing up and down the side of my yard. And like the aspen, I tried to transplant a few this summer because they're growing like right here on my path and really not in the way. These ones are in place, but I transplanted 2. One on the other side of the yard. I thought it was dead and didn't make, but this one's doing really well. I'm not going to go on with another 50 minutes of a tour of my yard, but that's the interesting thing about metaphors. Of course, they really help you relate, obviously, to things, and they fall apart. I mean, individual people are just not roots in a system, but it's a really rich metaphor, and that's why it's one I latch onto. And I thought a little bit about this idea about, things that thrive in the network, as hopefully will be happening in Rhizo 14. But what happens when, one tries to transplant themselves, and they're, you never really disconnect from that network. And of course, again, that metaphor, just completely falls apart. So you can't be tied too much to the metaphor. And so, recognize when the metaphor, doesn't work. But really, gravitate and, if it helps you make sense of things, to when it does, So, we're not rhizomes, but there's something really powerful to be thinking about things that are rhizomatic, so being like that. So a big difference. So obviously, I am not a vegetable. Sometimes I feel like one. And that's about, actually, it's just such a nice day. I felt like coming out here in the yard, better than being inside. Hope your winter is really quite as lovely as mine.